Suzi Lula.
Sheila Nichols. Does anybody not have a smile on their face? Come here, girl. Does anybody not have a smile on your face? Who would not go to the garden with Sheila Nichols right now? I am coming with you to the garden, girl. And the band. All right. Thank you, Sheila Nichols. Oh, my good God. I wait for that moment. Thank you very much, Mitch. Okay, shout out to Sheila Nichols. Like, oh my goodness, how good can your life really be? I believe we've already answered the question before we've even begun. So as you're waiting for her next CD to come out later this fall, please go get her CDs, Come to the Garden, Infinite Mind. But that first song, Back to the Sky, you know, I'm going to give you all an assignment before I even start. What I do during the week is I go back and I listen to Reverend Michael's message over and over and over during the week, because no matter how many times I listen to his message, I hear something new. I'm thinking, how did I not hear that? How did I not catch that? And I'm going to listen to Back to the Sky, Sheila's first song, over and over and over this week. Go to agapelive.com. You'll hear the replays. The lyrics are very, 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 very powerful to that song. So I think already I'm knowing that you are ready to break free of any boxes of limitation that you might have yourself in. I'm hoping that you will come on a journey with me. I'm here to take you on a journey. I love to travel. I'm always up for a good adventure, and I'm coming with the question, as has been said today, how good can your life really be? So I don't know about you, I'm in the midst of a big letting go in my life right now. Our son just started college. So I'm letting go. I've never really known the depth to and the degree to which one can miss another's voice. I love my son. I like being around him. He's a really cool young adult. And I miss his voice. I called him the other day just because I was missing him so much, and he actually picked up the phone. Any of you who have kids and kids with phones, you know you don't call each other. You just don't do that. And if you do, they rarely answer. So when I heard his voice, it's like, ah. So I'm on this journey, and I'm hoping that you all will come on this journey with me this morning. How good can your life really be? Right there in the midst of your life, with whatever it is that you're moving through, or whatever it is that is moving through you. Whatever it is that is in the midst of your life right now, are you willing, do you want to come on a journey of how good can your life really be? I think that's a great journey and destination to go on this morning. So if in fact you're in with me, I'm hoping that you'll write in the chat, in the comment box, a big resounding yes, because you've done something this morning that's cleared the way for you to be here. Just by virtue that you are here means that you are invested in your spiritual practice. You might have gotten up this morning and not really wanted to be here. Maybe you had something else. Maybe you were in resistance. Maybe where you're watching from, it's evening and you're tired and you want to go to sleep, but something has you here. Something told you, come, invest in yourself. So by writing yes in the comments, not only are you investing by being here, but you are allowing yourself to be part of this larger community, this larger field. And as we've shared, the practitioners and ministers are holding you in this field. So when you say yes in the chat, in the comments, or out loud right where you are, you're allowing us to also embrace you, also to lift you up, and for you to be uplifted into this field. So we're all getting ready to go on this journey together, right? We're interested, we're invested in this question. How good can my life be? How good can your life be? So the starting point of our journey, the place that we start from, where are we now? Who am I now? Who are you now? Who do you know yourself to be now in this moment? You, my friends, are golden. You are golden. You are pure. You are open-hearted. You are enough. You are worthy. You are divine. So this represents a golden cord of consciousness. This is a cord of consciousness. This is a field of consciousness. It's golden, it's white, it's pure, it's infinite, it's loving, it's rich, it's supportive. It's supporting you right now where you are. It's infinite, it's source energy, it's spiritual energy, it's universal flow, and you are of it. It is of you, you are of it. Can never be separate or apart from it. That's why I can say with full conviction, right where you are, even before we start the journey of how good can your life be, our starting point is, I am golden. In the midst of whatever is happening in your life, in your world, surrounding you right now, you are golden. You are enough. You are worthy. You are part of this flow. So if this is resonating with you, I'm going to ask you also to write in the chat, golden. Write the word golden. Write it in capital letters. If this is not resonating with you right now, and you're like, I'm not so sure, I'm not feeling golden in this moment. I'm not feeling golden with what I'm moving through in my life, with what is moving through in my life. I'm going to ask you to write either golden anyway, so that just by writing it, you're going to begin to convince yourself of your true nature and your true identity. Or if you want to write something that feels authentic, write willing. Because all we need, all the Holy Spirit needs, all the universal presence needs, all God needs is your willingness. So write willing. You're here, you're willing, we're going on a journey, we're going to see how good our life can be, and our starting point is, you're golden. Just say it out loud to yourself, I'm golden. It just feels good to remember who and what you truly are. Not only are you golden, but you're living in a field. You're living in an energy. You're living in a presence. You're living in an atmosphere, an environment, an energy of goodness, of infinite grace, of love, deep love. That is your source. That is your supply. It is unending and it is ever giving. It's so generous. It wants you right where you are right now, regardless of what is going on in your life. It wants you to thrive. It wants you to expand. It wants you to feel yourself supported. It wants you to feel yourself lifted up. It wants you to feel yourself loved. This is your true nature. Now, it may be, as you are hearing this, as you are contemplating this, as you are allowing this to land upon you, it may be that you are moving through something in your life. It may be that something is moving through you. It may be that you are going through, let's say, some financial challenges. If you're moving through a financial challenge, some relationship challenges, if you're a parent and you're having challenge maybe with one of your children, maybe it's with your own health, whatever it is that you are moving through right now, that can sometimes show up as, I call it, like a knot in consciousness. It can show up like tangled energy. Here I'm saying you're golden, you're in a flow. And you may have an experience in your life, well, my finances don't feel like they're in a flow right now. My relationship doesn't feel like it's in a flow right now. And I call that a tangle in consciousness, a knot in consciousness. And then, if you're like me, sometimes it's not enough to have a tangle in your life, experience a tangle in your life, but perhaps you might judge yourself for having that tangle and experiencing that knot in your life. And then what I like to say is I have then, a knot upon a knot. And then let's just say you're moving through a financial challenge, and then you're judging yourself for the financial challenge. And then let's say you bring said spouse, let's say, into your financial challenge with you. And then, my friends, you have a knot on top of a knot on top of a knot, right? Can any of you relate? There are times when we see this knot upon knot upon knot, and we can get so focused on the knot. We can see the knot can seem so large. The knot can seem so overwhelming. The knot can seem so exhausting. The knot can seem so all-encompassing that all we can see is the knot. So I want you to just take a moment and ask yourself, have you ever had this experience? Might you even be having this experience in this time, in this moment in your life? All I seem to be able to see are the knots. And when we allow ourselves to become so myopically possessed by looking at this knot, what happens? We forget that we're actually the golden cord of consciousness. We forget that we are being buoyed up. We forget that we are living in a field. We forget that there is a field of consciousness that's holding us up, that is all around this knot. We forget that we're not the knot at all. We are the consciousness. We are the golden cord of consciousness. This is our energy. This is who you are. And you might be experiencing some tangles. It's very important if you're moving through some tangles in your life. It's very important if there's some things that are knotted up within you, around you, that you move through the tangled energy, remembering that you are the golden cord. You are the golden cord of consciousness, and there is a field of consciousness that is golden, and it has you right now. We don't need to deny that sometimes there's knotted energy into our, like the reading said, Reverend Michael's reading this morning, we don't need to do a spiritual bypass in these teachings. Why? Because we can recognize that sometimes we're learning, we're growing, we're born perfect here to evolve, as Lee Simran Brown says. Born perfect here to evolve. So sometimes tangles happen. We remember that we are part of a larger field that is holding you right where you are right now. So it begins on your journey to matter less about the tangles and the knots, and begins to be more important on your journey how you move through the tangles of your life, how you move through the knotted energy of your life. And the first step of moving through that is to remember that you are not the knot. You might be moving through a tangle, but you yourself are not the knot. You are a state of consciousness. You are an infinite avenue of awareness that is moving through a learning process, a growing process. Are you with me so far? Okay, so we have a knot, but we are not the knot. Recently, many of you are aware that this has been the High Holy Days in the Jewish faith. Thursday was Yom Kippur. I observed Yom Kippur. And Yom Kippur means the Day of Atonement. It's a day where we're invited to sit authentically, honestly, look at ourselves sincerely, look at ourselves even solemnly, and specifically look to the places in our life that might feel knotted, might feel tangled, might even feel overwhelmed, might even remind us that we have stumbled, that we have fallen, that we had such high intentions and were unable to meet those intentions. This is a time that we grapple with ourselves, that we grapple with any knots in our life. And this, I know culture has taught us to avoid and resist this time. Who wants to spend your day looking at the knots in your life? But once you become indoctrinated onto a spiritual path, this actually becomes very compelling. Because what we know is that when we sit with a sincere desire and a sincere interest to look at this tangle and recognize that there might be a tangle in my life, but I am not the tangle. I am not the knot. Who the heck am I really? And what energy is assisting me really to untangle this knotted energy? This becomes our mandate. This becomes our interest. This becomes our spiritual commitment, is to over and over and over and over again bring ourselves back to ourselves. Bring ourselves back. Bring ourselves into inner alignment. That's why in the Jewish faith, Yom Kippur is called Day of Atonement, at one-ment, at oneness. Bringing ourselves in ways that we have felt that we are separate, that places and spaces and parts of ourselves have felt like they're running rampant, have felt overwhelming, have felt exhausting, and we are here to gather, to embrace all of those places in a kind, in a gentle, in a loving embrace, just as we are embraced by the divine. So this coming into inner alignment, you don't have to wait for one day of the year. It's a practice that we do over and over and over again, daily, sometimes hourly, of bringing ourselves back home to the truth of ourselves, the truth of our nature. So we can think of a knot, and it can feel like it's a very dense energy, and we can think of golden energy, and it becomes a very light filament, a very light, a very high vibrational energy. And what we're seeking to do when we're grappling and we're sitting with what's really happening in our life is we're here to remind ourselves, remember that these knots are surrounded by a presence, that even these knots, think of these knots right now, even these knots are of the same golden cord. It's a tangled energy, but it's the same golden cord. It's the same golden energy. And the only thing that makes it a knot, the only thing that makes it a tangle is our thinking about it. Oh, I must not be enough. Oh, that shouldn't be happening. Oh, I haven't gotten over that yet. It's our thinking about it that keeps it knotted. So as we're moving on this journey today to see, well, how good can your life be, even in the midst of if you have some tangles happening? Can we really in earnest say, my life is good? Yes, and I'm going to tell you how, and I'm going to tell you why, right? In the earlier service, I was calling it the secret sauce. So the secret sauce of untangling these knots is the energy of unconditional, and as Reverend Julie was saying, fierce compassion. We are here to open our hearts and open our minds to the presence of fierce, open-hearted, all-encompassing, all-embracing compassion. To know that the energy of compassion is an energy of embrace. It's not like an airy-fairy, little lightweight. There's nothing lightweight about compassion. Compassion is one of those hit-it-out-of-the-park spiritual qualities. It's the quality you want to call upon when you're in a tangle, right? Because what about compassion? Compassion, it's an open-hearted embrace. It's an acceptance. It's saying that you are not alone, that I am right here. So as I'm sitting on Yom Kippur and I'm grappling and sitting with my life, at first this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling so deeply grateful. I'm feeling so grateful for my life. I'm feeling so grateful for this community. I'm feeling so grateful for Michael Bernard Beckwith. Never, can get enough of his teachings, and I'm feeling good, and I'm feeling good about my relationship with Will, and I'm feeling good about my growth, and I'm feeling really good, and I'm just aware and observing my life until I found and came upon my own knot in consciousness called my marriage. I don't know if any of you are in relationships. Maybe your knot is showing up as finance or health or relationship or children. Mine was showing up as my marriage. And first, I did what, every good person on a spiritual path should do, is I argued a little bit. I'm like, no, not really, I'm good. My marriage is good. Jamie and I have been hiking every day during COVID. We're closer than ever, and that's sincere and that's real. And I was invited to just look a little deeper, to be a little more sincere in the witnessing of my own consciousness. Sometimes it's not the thing that jumps out at you. Sometimes it's the part that's back in the crevices of your consciousness. Sometimes it's the places that we're invited to look at, but we're not really running and jumping to look at those places. So I was looking at the places in the crevices and the corners of my consciousness, and I've learned enough to embrace them, to invite them. And what I was finding were ways that I have fallen down, ways that I have stumbled, ways that I've gotten in my own way, ways that I haven't been able to get out of my own way in order to show up differently in my marriage, things that I'm still working on in my own individual life, somehow crept over onto my marriage. And I was watching and observing how I occur in my marriage. Have you ever been invited to do that? Just become aware of how you are occurring with a diagnosis you may have been given, how you are occurring in your relationship with your children, with your finance, with a neighbor, with a friend. So I was looking at how I occur. And I was seeing that I've stumbled, I've fallen, I've tripped over my own 2 feet. And in the Jewish faith, it says it's not enough to look at that and observe it inside of ourselves, not enough to come to peace inside of ourselves, but it's the idea of first and foremost making amends within ourselves and then taking that amends and offering it to those around us, whomever it might be. My husband, Jamie, in this case. For you, it could be a spouse, a colleague, a child. It's offering that amends, and then after offering the amends, it is taking that inner vow, that inner intention, that inner dedication, that inner commitment, that inner mandate that says, I will forthcomingly behave differently. I will up-level my behavior. I will lift myself up. I will allow myself to be uplifted through the shedding happens when you begin to share with another person. So I'm sharing with my husband. He's very gracious. He's amazing. And I'm bawling my head off, and I'm apologizing, and he's bawling his head off. And then this is what happens. We each get to become aware of the places that we have stumbled and fallen. But the voice of compassion, the energy of compassion, rings in our ears, reverberates through our being. And the voice and the energy and the feeling tone of compassion sounds like this. At least for me, in my situation, it sounded like, yeah, you have stumbled. And you have taken responsibility for those stumbles, and you have repaired, and you have reconnected, and you have and continue to seek to behave higher and higher and higher. So the voice of compassion will begin to show you, yes, this is a tangle, but yes, you are supported. Yes, you are surrounded in a field that is healing, that is infinite, that has infinite solutions. The voice of compassion will show you a solution where when looking through the eyes of the knot, you see no solutions. The voice of compassion will soothe you. It will be gentle with you. It will allow you to soften your heart, soften any protected places inside of you, any armor that you've had. It will soften you so that you can, with your own new eyes, once again see who and what it is that you truly are. it begins to unknot itself. It begins to allow you to dissolve the knots, to dissolve the hard thinking, to dissolve the way you might have your heels dug in righteousness. And it assists us to soften and to open and to shed and to dissolve. So if this sounds like something that you are willing to embark upon on your spiritual practice, on your spiritual journey, I'm promising you, compassion is not for the faint of heart. Compassion will get you to the dissolution of your knots. If you're willing, if you're wanting, if you're interested, I'm going to ask you to write in the comment, write in the chat, compassion. Write it big, write it in capital letters, write it with lots of exclamation points, write it with lots of emojis, write it like you mean it, write it like you're willing to step into it, write it like it's fierce, write it like you're open to it. Because I promise you, right now, you don't even have to wait until this time is over. Right now, with exactly the tangle that might be going on in your world, in your life, I promise you, if you open up to the power of compassion, the power of compassion will let you know that you are not alone, that you are surrounded, you are enveloped in a presence that is here, that wants you to shed, that wants these layers and knots and tangles that you have gotten yourself into. It wants you to be untangled. It wants you to be free. It wants you to be liberated. It wants you to be unencumbered. It wants for you what you want for yourself. So if you're with me, you write compassion, and you find that you're not the only one that's seeking it. You'll see on the chat, hopefully 50 of you, 100 of you are writing compassion, 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 compassion. And you'll feel yourself, as I said, surrounded by these practitioners and ministers that are dedicating their life to knowing this for you, knowing this for ourselves, and then knowing and holding it for you. So allow yourself to be not experiencing whatever you're going through alone. Allow yourself to allow this community to assist you, to let those layers fall away, to let those layers shed away, to let those layers dissolve so that you become open-hearted, you become undefended, your heart becomes open, your mind becomes open, your spirit becomes free and liberated. So take a deep breath here as we're going. We're asking the question, how good can our life be? The first step, the first thing you put in your bag is I am golden. Second thing you keep in that bag right next to I am golden is I'm living in a golden universe. You know, Albert Einstein said the most important decision you will ever make in your life is if you believe you live in a benevolent, friendly universe. So first thing in your bag, how good can my life be? I am golden. I live in a golden, supportive, infinite, loving universe. Third thing, I'm not my tangles. I'm not my knots. I am golden. And I invite the presence and the quality of compassion to work with me, to assist me, to allow these knots to fall away, to shed away. We let go into compassion. And I'm hoping that by now, along your journey, you're feeling pretty hopeful, you're feeling pretty good. You're like, I'm going to try that compassion thing that she's talking about. I can feel myself feeling a little more liberated, a little lighter, a little more enlightened, lighthearted, open-hearted, and you're feeling pretty good. And I want you to take this moment and feel pretty good. You are golden. I am golden. You are golden. I am golden. And then we recognize that on this path, though, it's not enough for us to feel good about our lives. It's important. It's essential. It is essential that you feel good about your life, because only to the degree that you can dissolve your own knots are to the degree that you can accept with compassion the knots in another. But as we feel this essential part of the journey that is recognizing my life is good, I am golden, As good as that is, and as fulfilling as that is, it's actually just your initiation step. You're just at the end of the diving board. It just gets good now. Because now that you know how to dissolve your own knots, now that you can claim your life as golden, now that you can step onto your journey going, my life is good, now we look out around us. We spiral this out around us. Now we start looking and we say, if I can dissolve the knots of my own consciousness, I can dissolve the knot with my child. If I can dissolve the knots in my own consciousness, I can dissolve a knot in my relationship, with my health, with my finance, in my career, with my creativity, with my energy level. Once we know that we can do it within ourselves, it becomes our mandate to spiral it out and see it in those relationships around us. And as you begin to feel and sense into, I got this, and you begin to feel and sense that your relationships are golden. Your relationships are golden. I'm telling you this. Any knots in your relationships are dissolved. And as you begin to see that in the close relationships of your life, I want you to spiral it out, and I want you to begin to see in the world. And in the world, we can sometimes look out, and it's so easy to only see the knots. When we think of the Me Too movement, when we think of George Floyd, and we think of Black Lives Matter, and we think of climate change and the environment, or we think of the political arena, at least in this country, it's very easy for us to see knot after knot, tangle after tangle, and it's very easy to look out and just see the knots. The brilliance of doing our own inner work first, knowing that I am here to untangle my own knots, to envelop compassion over these knots, is that to the degree that I know that I know that I know that I am golden, I can begin to look out into my world and not have to resist the world and not have to succumb to the world, but in fact be the bringer of light to the world. And we are not finished our work on this planet until we are the bringers of the light to this world. So I'm inviting you, whatever is calling to you, whatever is your passion, whether it is Black Lives Matter, systemic racism and the disillusion of that, and the righteous equality for every human being on earth, whether it's for indigenous people, whether it's for children, hungry children, whether it's for the political climate, whatever it is that is your passion, that pulls at your heartstrings, let us each and all together take a vow right now, a vow that we are not going to see any longer the knot. We are not going to deny it. We are not going to bypass it. Yet and still, we are going to come together in this collective consciousness, and we are going to together, join together and know that we are the bringers, we are the bearers of this much needed golden light on the planet. So when you stand in the awareness, I am golden and I am the bringer of golden light to the planet. Just say that or write it in the chat. I am the bringer of golden light to the planet. I am the bringer of golden light to the planet. I am the bringer in whatever my world is. I am to bring the light. I am to be the light. I am to bring this enlightened state of consciousness and awareness. When you stand in that, when you are willing to be that, what is happening right now as we're all joining together right now in this moment, it's happening. Why? We can look to the mystical teachings, we can look to scientific teachings. Either one will tell you, both of them will tell you, that this knotted energy is of a lower dense frequency. It's just a lower frequency, a slower frequency of the same light. It's the same light. It's just like sound is a lower frequency of light, right? And the mystical teachings and quantum physics tell us that we can have two different energetic fields happening at the same time. This and this can occupy the same space. You can feel that you see a knot, and you can lean into the energy of the higher vibration of the truth of compassion, of love, of infinite possibilities, infinite potentiality, source energy that wants nothing for us as a planet than to rise up. And that energy, that is the truthful energy, will lift up this energy and have it dissolve back into the nothingness from which it came. It will require action from all of us. It will require that we change our behaviors. It will require that we make some inner commitments. And when we do, I can tell you, it feels so good. It feels so good to have your own knots untangled. And it feels so good to be a bringer of the light to the planet. So as I'm untangling this last knot, may it be symbolic, may it be a ritual, may it be a visual for you to see your own knots untangling. And let's all take a moment and join together. And let's see the knots and the tangles of our world unraveling, shedding, dissolving. See what your part in it is, so that you come for something and against nothing. See yourself as the bringer of the light. See yourself as the bringer of the light in your life, and see yourself as the bringer of the light in all life, to all life. I am golden. We are golden. Our world is golden. Our life is golden. We're going to move into prayer. And as we do, I want you to just keep hearing this as a mantra. I am golden. I am golden. Maybe you're writing that still on the chat. You might be in your own room. You might be in your own space. But know that the person on the Zoom next to you might be in Zimbabwe. The person on the Zoom next to you might be in Canada, might be right here in Los Angeles. You are part of a global community right now. So when you're saying, I am golden, you're also saying the person on the Zoom next to you is golden. You're saying the person on the Zoom next to you is golden. You're saying that we, as a collective, are in a golden field of energy, and we are seeing that with each other and for our world. So let's just, right where you are, gently close your eyes. If it feels right to you, place your hand on your heart. Be willing to see, feel, sense yourself as a golden filament of energy. Feel, sense, know about yourself that you are not alone, that you are part of an infinite presence of love, beauty, intelligence, joy, wisdom, abundance, prosperity, inspiration, guidance, opulence, abundance. I'm so grateful to know that this is our nature. I'm so grateful to know that this is my nature. I'm so grateful to know that this is the nature of each one of you, golden to the core. The angels are singing, you're a golden, you're a golden, you're a golden, you're a golden, you are light, you are light, you are light, you are light, you are love, you are love, you are love. Feel this for yourself. Claim this for yourself. Be willing to know this about yourself. Feel yourself in this presence. Feel yourself embraced. You are love and you are loved. Feel how very loved you are. Feel how very loved you are. Feel the divine presence, source energy, God energy is only love, and it's loving you right now. You are so loved. All you need to know is that you are so loved. You are so lovable. You are golden. You are light. This is who you are. Feel the layers shed away. Feel the layers drop away. Feel yourself birthing yourself into new light, greater light. Feel the constrictions, the limitations falling away. Feel that you're not encumbered. Feel that there's no boxes around you. Feel that you are stepping out. Feel that you are stepping into the light, into more light and more light and more light. For as much light as you know yourself to be, it's just the tip of the iceberg. Feel that you are an infinite presence of light. Feel that you are an infinite presence of love, beauty, divine intelligence, wisdom, guidance, grace. Place in the center of your heart and place in the center of the heart of this prayer right now any knots in your own consciousness, any density in your own consciousness that is offering up your knot. Offer it up. Let it go. Offer it into this prayer. Let the compassion of this prayer sweep it away, wash it away. Offer it up. Intend for yourself now. Claim for yourself now. You will not open your eyes the same person that closed your eyes. You will not open your eyes again with these knots. You're offering them into this prayer, into this field. By your faith, by your conviction, you are allowing compassion to have its way with you. Drop whatever challenge you're having here. Drop it in, drop it in, drop it in, drop it in. Feel that you are surrounded. And as you're feeling this for yourself and as you're knowing this for yourself, know it for someone else in your world. Know it for someone else in your life. Maybe call your own name out loud. Suzi, I am golden. Say your own name, you are golden. Stand in it. Marianne Lewis, you are golden. Know it for someone else. Say their name out loud right now. Golden. Life, you are golden. God, you are golden. This world, you are golden. See those around you golden. See them whole. See them perfect. See them complete. See any of your quagmires, any of your tangles. See them untangling right now. Don't leave this prayer tangled up. See it for someone else. See it for everyone else. A prayer is not complete until we offer it. And as you're offering it, join with me. Open your hearts as we of our spiritual community hold these individuals in our heart. These are individuals who have called for prayer support, who have called one from the heart. Reverend Coco's beautiful ministry that embraces these individuals, that embraces Anne Isolde. Embrace her with me, embrace her with us. And my sister, Reverend Sandra Quiros, for Kumari Renee Fabio. Embrace her, embrace Kumari Renee Fabio. Let us embrace my other sister, Reverend Christine Pena. Embrace her, hold her in your heart. Allow her to feel this golden light of energy filling her. Let it soothe her. Let her feel soothed and restored, renewed, revitalized, reinvigorated. And Tanya Benziger for her mom, Jean Williams, or John Williams. Let us hold them. Let us hold each one and all of them. It feels so good to pray for another, to extend our own open heart to and for another. And for these individuals who are moving through transitions, they're moving through a grieving process, we hold them in our heart in prayer. Gabrielle De Filippi, who's been here since she was a little girl, for her dad, Dino. We hold her dad, Dino, as he is making his way, transitioning. We hold them. We hold the family. We hold the family of Pamela Woodleaf for her sister, Princess Eubanks. It feels good to know that they are so surrounded, they are so held, they are not alone. The Holy Spirit is with them, guiding them, directing them through their own process. And this community is of great, high, and holy service to hold with them. So we just invite Marianne to allow this frequency, this energy to fall upon you, to anchor yourself.
All of the ways I walked in pain, all of the ways I felt I couldn't go on, the guilt, the shame, all of the things that held me down, they're falling away from me, falling away from me. I'm rising up, yes, it's all falling away, away from me, yes. Ooh, Heavenly Spirit, there is something I can say to you. Words can't contain it, but I'll do the best that I can do. You lift me up like the vastness of the ocean, and you heal my heart, and I'm filled with such devotion. All of the ways I walked in pain, all of the times I felt I couldn't go on, the guilt and the shame, all of the things that held me down, they're falling away from me. Oh, we're untying the knots and let it fall, let it fall, let it fall. I'm rising up, oh, we're golden, it's falling away from me, yes. I'm rising up in the freedom, falling away from me. Oh, living life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden. We are free, we are free. Yes, I'm letting it fall away from me, falling away, away from me. Yes. I am light, I am love. Falling away from me. Know that you're golden.
Feel it falling away. Feel it falling away. Let it fall away. Let it fall away. Let yourself rise up. Let yourself rise up in consciousness. Rise up in the conscious awareness that you are golden. We are golden. This world is golden. Let yourself rise up in consciousness. Let your consciousness be a light. Let your consciousness be larger, greater, more expanded than you've ever known yourself to be. Let your consciousness walk before you. Let this expanded state of consciousness be your identity, your golden, gold-filled identity. Rise up, rise up, rise up. How good can your life be? How good can our life be? How good can this planet that we're so fortunate and blessed to live in be? Grateful, grateful, grateful. And so it is. Amen, amen, amen. Marianne Lewis. Beautiful, beautiful house
Suzi
band.
Lula.
Thank you. I know that music has the power to heal. I know the consciousness of this band. I know the consciousness of Marianne Lewis. And I know that that music allowed you to feel open and open-hearted. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So take a nice deep breath and feel your heart open. Feel your heart unencumbered, undefended. We're moving into a time that we get to give now. This is a time of our conscious giving. Consciously we give. We become consciously generous. So as you are getting your tithes, your offering, your donation, whatever language you want to call it, as the meditative thought said about labels, we use labels to articulate a way of being, and we are a giving community. We are a generous community. You all are the most amazing, generous of communities. Please know that we exist, we thrive solely because of your giving. It is your giving. So if you're there thinking, oh my gosh, my $10, my $20, if you're there thinking my $200 is not going to make a difference, your financial offering is what allows us to be a global community right now. So whatever it is that is calling you, whether you're thinking in this moment, maybe it won't make a difference, or maybe you're being compelled right now to give something greater than you ever thought. I remember the first time Reverend Michael said here, someone here is going to give $1,000 today. It was 2 buildings ago, I think, to Reverend Coco. It was a few buildings ago. And Reverend Michael said, no, it was 1 building ago. It was in Buckingham. And he said, someone here is going to give $1,000 today. And I remember feeling inside of me, oh my God, that's me. And it made me nervous at the time. I was like, should I text Jamie and make sure that's okay? Just on a Sunday, I'm going to give $1,000. But I felt it. I felt what he said. And I did it. And what happened? I expanded, I exploded that day. So maybe there's something that's compelling you right now to reach out of your comfort zone and give from that extra, from that overflow, so that you can grow, so that you can expand, and so that we can keep ourselves as the global community that we are. So we move into this place. We are blessing your gifts, your tithes, your offering. Just going to take this moment here to say thank you in advance. Whatever it is, whether it feels small to you or whether it feels like the biggest stretch you've ever made. I'll just raise Reverend Michael a few thousand. So I know there's somebody here that's going to give $5,000 today. That's just how we roll as this community, right? We just expand, and I'm thanking us in advance. And I'm blessing your tithe, I'm blessing your gift, because what I know is that the amount is less relevant than the giving. And as you give, as you become part of the circulation, what I know is that this comes back to you tenfold. This comes back to you exponentially expanded. So see the circulation, feel our thanksgiving, feel the thanks.